Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Expectations Gap. Today, I'm joined by Paritosh Gupta, a seasoned data scientist driving AI analytics innovation. With a strong tech background and a passion for practical impact, Paritosh helps bridge the gap between AI's promise and its real world application. We'll talk about where AI is truly delivering and where it's still misunderstood. Paritosh, welcome to Expectations Gap. I'm really honored to have you today.
Thank you, Amna, and I'm very happy to be here and discuss about AI and its application in our industry, mostly on the technical industries, and how it is delivering on its promise or not.
Okay, so let's dive in directly. So, what is AI for you?
Yeah, so I am working in a data science for more than 5 years, and data science and machine learning is a part of artificial intelligence. Under the big umbrella of artificial intelligence, data science and machine learning are there. And with the advent of generative AI, now we know we can create text, generate text, create images, songs, videos, and everything. So we are seeing the much more capability of generative AI. In the past, it was there and it was called as a machine learning, and it was used in the industry in various applications predictions and forecasting. For example, every day you wake up and you see the weather forecast, like how the day will look like. That is one of application of machine learning. Then the sales forecast, and then in the industries it's used in in varied way. For example, predicting for a customer, bank customer, whether the customer is going to pay their EMI or their bill on time, or whether they will default. So all these are are the applications of machine learning, and it is there from from 1960s. From there, different industry started using it in a different way. But in the last 2 3 years, we see the real power of generative AI, where the every person in the earth can now use whether texting and other things or creating. So that is, we are seeing the generative power of machine learning and artificial intelligence.
So, then how do you see it influencing your industry today?
So currently, I'm working in a HelloFresh, where we are a tech company, like a meal kit company in the FMCG market, and so the tech industry is always our forefront in adopting any technology, and the same goes with the generative AI. And in our industries, or in tech industry in general, there are different ways in which the generative AI or AI in general is helping. And I can categorize into three categories where the AI is uh, delivering in their promises. First
Mhm.
is everyday conversational assistant. Like everybody now, they have a different app in their mobile, whether it is a chat GPT, whether it is Anthropic Cloud A or Gemini and other thing. It's free for most of the time, where you can use it for as a companion, as a co-pilot for every day, whether helping in daily chores or writing and editing. And nowadays it is helping a lot uh, on a student also. So like any complex sentence or any complex topic like mathematics and physics and all. So these models can help you to learn in a way you want to learn. So that is first category, that is everyday conversational assistant,
Mhm.
conversation assistant, and everything. I think everybody is now adopted to this, and everybody is currently using it, and they are changing their life. I mean, maybe it's helping your life also, Omania. Can you tell me about how you're using it daily?
Yeah, so I'm actually interested in something regarding the industry application, but I yeah, so it is for me AI has really optimized my day, if I would say, regarding my daughter's planning or regarding work and brainstorming, and also writing kind of requirements. It's way easier when I'm kind of brainstorming. And also, what's a very good use for it sometimes is the storyline of presentation, so that
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
you
yeah.
brainstorm on the storyline. Going back to the industry,
Yeah.
did you have a breakthrough in kind of personalization of the customer experience with HelloFresh with
And
AI?
personalization, yeah. So maybe I will come back to that on the later thing because I'll talk about the more important aspect.
Mm-hmm,
So first, we already discussed like one category is like everyday
mm-hmm,
conversational assistant. The second category, that is where like the AI is delivering on its power, it's automation. Currently, automation is the biggest benefactor of generative AI. When
okay.
I say like automation, it is from marketing to customer care. So marketers now using different kind of image generations or marketing their product. Now they can create different kind of videos, different kind of audios, even different kind of graphics to
Mm-hmm.
market their product, and it
Yeah.
is really helping there. Earlier, it requires like 2 to 3 months or like 2 to 3 weeks, depend on like what kind of your requirement it, and you have like a way big editors and the graphic designers and all. Now with the help of these kind of tools, generative AI tools like Canva and
Mm-hmm.
every big companies have their graphic models also, so they are helping them a lot. And then in the market there are like lot of different automation framework. One is called like N8N. It's an automation framework that provides a capability that if I want to create a voice assistant that connects to my Gmail and to my WhatsApp or anything, it
Mm-hmm.
has connection for everything, and it's very easy to build because it's less code, no code graphical user face where you can build any kind of tool. So now these kind of tools and automation, even a company with a very less workers or less manpower, they
Mm-hmm.
also have capability to create those kind of automation tools that can boost their businesses. And this is one of the biggest benefit that I have seen in last 2 years
Mm-hmm.
in the generative AI industry.
But automation needs that the baseline of the data itself is neat and proper and clean, so that when the automation runs on top of it, it doesn't get a mess of output.
Yeah, I mean the automation comes in different way. One is like what like a tech automation where like we want to automate any process. So
Mm-hmm.
that is one automation. Another automation is just like you are doing some manual work. For example, you are a sales agent,
Mm-hmm.
and there you every day you wake up in the morning, you see like I have to sell like 10 cars to one area, let's say in Berlin. I have to sell 10 cars of BMW or something. For that you need to again like try to find out what could be the list of consumer that can buy your car. You have to call them, you need to ask them, you need to do a soft calling or the cold mail or cold calling. So now instead of that you can have an automation tool where it fetch like in the Berlin area, it can do research on your behalf, and it sees like in this area there are like lots of rich people where we can sell like the latest model of BMW. So it can fetch those results for you, and then it can call on your behalf also. So that is the real power of currently the automation we are currently having in the tech
Yes,
industry.
and yeah, what I mean is that based on the data that you have and how clean the data that you have, for example, if this is like really you were able to find a database for the Berlin areas, segmented by value, and then then it's doing the work properly, because then it's not a
Yeah.
lot of errors in the middle. Okay, so these are the two things that you see as
And the
in
third one is like the productivity. The
productivity.
third category, yeah. So the productivity in general, like it has been improved with the help of, for example, I am a data scientist. I code every day. And for that, like we have like various AI code editor like Claude Code, Cursor, and all those things. So earlier it takes like a lot of time to come up with some logics and something. So for the starter, like this AI code editor can help you like do the autocomplete, do some check, for example, indentation or like some spelling check and all those things. And it can also help you to go look in the industry. Earlier how we code is like we start with some requirement, we work on it, and then we get stuck. So we go to Stack Overflow and see like what other person had done that can suit my requirement. Now like this code editor is helping us,
Mm-hmm.
whether because now like this all these big large LLM models, they have trained on all the data that we currently have. So there is no more data left now to actually train this model. So they have everything. So if you have stuck somewhere, then you can take help of them. Other thing is like in the presentations, in the board meeting, and other things, they can help you create like a different kind of slides or presentations and other things. So they're increasing the productivity of tech people, whether they are a developer, whether they are a product people, whether they are a manager. So that is like the third category where AI is currently delivering, and this is going to continue. It's going to improve further and further as we go further in this journey.
And is there any use case that you've witnessed that really exceeded the expectations of delivery within AI for you?
For me, like currently, I say like this automation, the second category that I have talked about,
Hmm.
is currently delivering on it, and then it can help like you also. So in the past, I have built some app that is I created my own virtual assistant. Uh,
Hmm.
and I can talk to her directly, just like I'm talking to you.
Hmm.
And then she can help me with like a daily chores, like what I want to do in the evening. She can book my calendars that is integrated to my Gmail,
Yeah.
or what I want to do, like a shopping for the next week. So she can take a notes and then save it and then share it with my Telegram and WhatsApp. So those are the things, like on the personal level you can do those kind of automation, and on
Mhm.
the industrial level, as I talked about, like the sales representative. So these are the areas where like AI is delivering currently, because automation is kind of a deterministic thing
Mhm.
where it's not like, because like this LLM, their response are not deterministic. For once, like you ask the same question, first time you get like a different response, and second time you might get a different response for that. So, and sometimes they hallucinate. If they don't know anything, they say like, uh, "This is the response," and it looks like very real to you. So you're not able to differentiate between like what is like a truth, ground truth, and what is like an artificially generated by these kind of LLMs and generative
But
AI.
how can you validate then? So if it's hallucinating or not, and then in also in connection to this is then where can we enhance or like where you can see the gap of the ethical use of AI? How can we make sure that the results there is valid and how people are using it and implementing it in their life?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, currently, it depends on like your level of maturity with this generative AI product. If you are like a very basic user as a like a general assistant, even if it says something like this place, like Paris is not a capital of France, so it is not life threatening, it's fine. But if it is something like on a clinical trial or some product requirement where like you need an accuracy, where you need to know the ground truth, and there it could have like an ethical challenges, because you don't know whether like these generative AI apps are hallucinating. I mean, they're saying something that doesn't exist, or it is completely wrong. So for us as a AI practitioner, we have to be very careful in terms of you can ask like this LLM apps or the whole categories of generative AI to do something for you. They can even do it, but then you have like a different ways of evaluation. So on the industry, what we do is like we create different kind of data sets, what we call like a ground truth. So if you ask this question, the answer should be like this.
Mhm.
What we call like in industry is like a human in the loop. So a lot more focus nowadays is given to the evaluation part of it. How you can evaluate your model in the general sense. What are their expectations? How you can define a guardrail where it can't go beyond that what you expect. Like you, it should not be offensive and other things. So those are the things like the guardrails and evaluation. Those are the framework where we can use AI to work as our requirement
So,
and
so
not
you
go beyond.
Yeah, so you see, the ethical part is then solved by having human in the loop, or that it's
Yeah.
then as an ethical. It's not the ethical part within the companies that generate it, but it's the ethical usage of it in the end, because they will not be able to control it from the source.
Yeah, yeah, like the big, like the whether it is OpenAI or
Mhm.
whether it is Gemini and other thing, they created a big model, and how you are using it, it's on like on the consumer side, the ethical part. I mean, something on the ethical side, it's on their end also, like their response, like the response of this Chat GPT and all those models should not be offensive and all those things. But when you are using in your industry or whether you are using inside your company or your product, whatever coming out from your product is your responsibility. So on that part, you are responsible for it.
That's a very valid point of view, because it then gives the more power to the users, and less accountability on the big companies. I have only there the challenge of the data itself, because they are training
Yeah.
on data that is not theirs, that they did not generate, and that it was generated by many millions of users before. For example, the most is like the creative part. The most challenging for me is like the drawings, the pictures, the music, the poems, the literature, and these were like they trained without approval.
Yeah. Like, so
Yeah,
there is like a lot of copyright infringement happening and the
yeah,
hard work of artists. So this Ghibli art is one of the viral thing for
yeah.
the generative AI, like for OpenAI. But the artist who created this art, there is an studio in Japan, and he was not happy about it because for him it's like a lifetime of his work, his art.
Yeah.
And now he see like every other corner like the same kind of art. So there there is currently there is no boundary or like no governance around it, and I hope like in future like the big government where like these companies are based, they put those kind of restriction, or at least if you are using somebody's arts and work, you should at least pay some credit to them, whether it is a monetary benefit or any other thing. You have to pay the due. There is no free lunch in tech industry.
I, I'm interested to know, what do you think of the future trend? Like, how do you see AI progressing from here, or did it reach kind of the of a stagnation level at the moment, and then we are waiting for 5 6 years for a second hype, for example?
I mean, like the currently, like the tech industries and like the AI influencers, they're talking about like the biggest myth is like the tech industry can replace the programmers and developers, and now going forward, like the all the code generation and everything can be done by the the AI itself, by the agent AI agent itself.
Mhm.
But what on reality, what I have seen, like the Gen AI is very good on doing something, doing a task that already part of their training data.
Mhm.
So I mean, they have built their model on like the whole of the internet data. So yes, they can do like 70-80% of work, like the repetitive work or everything that has already been done.
Mhm.
But then this 10 to 20% of work they might not able to do because they have never seen it. It's
Yeah.
not there in training data, and this is where this 10% makes a bad model or a bad product to a high quality product or a production grade product. And this is where in those 10 to 20% you still need an expertise, whether it's an expertise of a domain knowledge, a domain expert, programmer expert, and other things. And I think this is very hard to crack in the future also. So we can use AI as a companion with us. It can improve our productivity, but I don't think it can replace us. And what we are talking about, like artificial general intelligence, we're too far from there.
That's very powerful statement. Uh, I would want to ask just if you have anything to add in the end, uh, or if you have any personal uses other than the virtual assistant that she's helping you with all the details.
I just wanted to come back on one point that we
Mhm.
were discussing. It's like the data thing. If the data is dirty, then
Yeah.
how can you have a good product? So it's in machine learning and artificial intelligence is like data in, data out. If you have like garbage data, you will have like the garbage
Mhm.
output. And the whole industry, I mean, it depends on like industry to industry, but still we are in the very early stage of like having a very good data. So the lot more emphasis if we want to give is having a good data, a proper data, structured data. So any company who is thinking to use like or leveraging the power of AI, they should first have a very good data team.
Mhm.
They have very good data. Once you have a good data, then only you can go into the second level or in the second level of leveraging the power of AI. And
Yeah.
I am working in data industry and I still deal with the dirty data. So one of the top complaints of a data scientist is having a dirty data, working with a dirty data, and if you have like a good data, so
Yeah.
requirement of good data.
Yes. Yeah, I completely agree. I think I see a big benefit of the AI kind of revolution that we're in now is that bringing everyone to basics, that they are starting to realize that there will be no impact for AI unless they are able to have powerful, robust baseline to build the AI on top of it. And this makes everyone now, and the companies want to have the revenue generation from AI and everything, and they're oops, we need to think of investing a bit more in the basics before we
Yeah,
move forward. This is a good, this is at least this is a very good progress or eye opener, I would say, for now.
yeah.
And maybe then we will see
Yeah,
better use
and then
cases.
comes like this data governance and ethics issues comes in. I mean, what kind of data you can store, what kind of data you can use for your model. So
Yeah.
here, like the data ethics and everything. So for responsible AI, you have to start when you started gathering the data, saving the data. Your responsibility starts from there. It's not like at the end also.
Yes.
So it's in the all the life cycle of data product development that you have to be responsible. And one thing that I can add further is like the data is dirty, everybody knows it. But you can leverage generative AI to actually convert those dirty data into some level of usefulness of data. So currently, like in HelloFresh, also we are trying to do like uh, evaluating the data and then taking help of AI to actually convert those data into more meaningful data, tagging it, and
Mhm.
then we can use it to in the AI product development and all. So there also AI is helping, but again this maturity, I mean, it's still in very early stage and it may mature in like future to come.
It will take its time, but it's as you said, that it's based on the maturity of the users. We will see the progress coming. Okay, thank you so much for today. Was a pleasure to have you, and it was an interesting discussion. But I really have a lot of questions to follow up. But I think for now we have summarized the topic. Yeah, any last words before we close the?
Yeah, I mean, like the one trend that I'm currently seeing in the industry wide is like everybody wants to use a generative AI application. They want to use Gen AI.
Mhm.
So It is directly coming from their CEOs. And whenever like you add a buzzword of like AI in your product, it can increase like this virality, or you can sell it better. So that on the industry point. But on the other hand, we have to train the workforce. So you have to train the workforce how to use this AI tool, how to use it responsibly, responsibly, responsibly. So all those things you need to do it. So I see like to democratizing this generative AI, we need to train the workforce, and there could be some other like it can replace human in certain positions and certain jobs, and that's going to happen. But what we can do as like a normal person working here and there is like try to embrace it, learn how you can use this to better do your job, so that you can always in the front of like how you can secure your job for the future.
Okay. So yeah, so but anything for the bottom? So I needed to add the follow-up question. So this is for the workforce, but for the management, because I have a feeling that they're pushing AI in a way, and then but they are not completely aware of all the details as well. So we need
they
also.
have they have to be like keep their expectation to be realistic. What is like the current capability of generative AI. It's not just like some AI influencer telling that you can do a work of 1 month in a 1 day. That's not possible. You have to be realistic. So there's a learning curve for them also,
Mhm.
and then they have to look behind and see like how good the data they have. If they don't have a good data, if they don't have like the capabilities, they don't have the workflows, then workflows that are trained on generative AI and all those things, it's really hard to scale. So we all are learning, whether it is programmer, developer, whether it is managers and CEO. But it's quite interesting the pace in which like the generative AI world is going. I mean, it's hard to keep up. I mean, I'm in industry for more than 5 years now, and in the last 1 2 years, it's like just going crazy. Every other day, some new things are coming up.
But we are all in the learning sprint, I would say. And the more we learn, the more it gets useful to everyone, I would say as well. And we see where this journey will take us. I hope for the
Yeah,
best.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Paritosh. And I hope to talk to you soon again in the podcast. Thank you, everyone, for
Thank you
listening.
for having me, and then thanks to the listeners of this podcast. Thank you.